What's up, everybody? It's the Sports Quote, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. This is the Manchester United versus Watford 3-0 match reaction. A very exciting game. Absolute class on the players. Before we get started, please like and subscribe. Let's build a community. This was a great match to watch, a great match to react to. Let's get started. So, the 3-0 win against Watford was very attacking, especially in the second half. We created a lot more opportunities than usual. We were just a team on a mission here, and not only that, it was a must-win game, and we definitely won convincingly, like I hoped we would. I predicted 3-1. We even kept a clean sheet. That's a great bonus. We made Watford look terrible tonight, and I'm not sure if that was by their performance or by ours, but we were spectacular and it was a true solid performance that we can really look to and say, if we can keep performing like that, I definitely think the top four can be there, and it's always going to be there given an opportunity. We're currently fifth now. For anybody that thinks fifth is enough, we'll be in Champions League contention if this is how the season ends. But I don't think we can settle. We definitely need to push forward. We definitely need to go for fourth to guarantee it. But either way, this was a solid performance, and I don't think anybody put a foot wrong. And I definitely think we should definitely be happy with a performance like this. And hopefully, in the coming games, especially in the Europa League, we can do the same to other teams, because we are a scary team when we can play attacking and find passes and make the opportunities. Because no one can defend us. Seriously, no one can. We'll go to the player reviews. David De Gea gets I would say he gets a 7. I think he was better than usual. He made a very good save to the near post. Very vital save. He did well off of the corners. He did concede a goal that was considered offside, handball, sorry. So yeah, it's just a good performance overall. Fantastic stuff. Going into the right back position, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I think he also had a very, very good game. I would say he gets a 7 as well. I could give him an 8, but I just didn't see much of him offensively. But defensively, where it counts, he was class again, man. He was class again. I think all of our defense did very well, and definitely Wan-Bissaka is one of the better defenders that we have, probably the best defender that we have. And again, he has shown how important he is to us defensively. His side was pretty much kept quiet. Maybe one shot you could consider was on his side that hit the top of the post by Delafeu, I believe that's his name. And but other than that, kept quiet completely. And that's great stuff. That's a good thing to see, man. When consistency is key, and he's a very consistent player. Going into Victor Lindelof, I think Victor Lindelof gets a 6. I rated Lindelof today, and I said in the preview that Lindelof and Maguire would have a good game if they played against a team like Watford that don't have pacey players but can stand them up and brutalise them. I think we are a very strong physical team, especially at the back, and Lindelof shined. He is prone to losing headers, but trust me, I believe in games like this, Lindelof is just too intelligent to give Watford a chance to come at them, to come at him, to be honest. I didn't see one turnover from our centre-backs that led to a goal-scoring opportunity, and Lindelof was a very good passer of the ball today. He even got in a few runs forwards, and 6 is fair. He could be given a 7, but yeah, 6 is fair. I think Harry Maguire gets a 7 as well. He was a solid player today. He won his duels. I guess you could say he was one of the reasons I fought for the goal for not contesting it, but that goal was a handball. He made some killer passes. He went for a volley today. Imagine if that went in. Old Trafford would have went crazy. But yeah, he had a very good performance. Now, going into Luke Shaw, I'm going to say Luke Shaw gets a 9. I think Luke Shaw had a perfect game. Vital goal-saving tackles, left, right, and centre. He drove forward. He made overlapping runs, which got a lot of opportunities for our players. Crosses, everything. Luke Shaw did everything today, and I think 9 is a very good score. Left back, he had one of the best games I've seen him play in a very long time, and he even got in at centre back a few times. I think this formation 3 at the back when he played it, it kind of made him a better defender when he went back to left back, because that was the best defensive game I've seen in a long time from Luke Shaw. And offensively, he even pushed out a bit. He seems like his confidence is there. And I'm happy for Luke Shaw. That, like I said, every time I'm gonna say it, that left back position is a position where competition needs to be had, and Brandon Williams has strong competition now. Luke Shaw is in spectacular form. He's probably been our player of the month this far, and he probably will, if he keeps going, get our player of the month award for February. So that's great, and he definitely deserves it. 9 is fair. For many people, he could be considered man of the match. I do have another person in mind, so I'm gonna let that happen when it happens. But Luke Shaw at 9 is fantastic stuff there. Going into the CDMs, or the holding midfielders, we'll start off with Fred. I think Fred gets a 7. A lot of turnovers today. They definitely targeted him, but he still had a very good game. 7 is a very good score, especially for the way they were playing him. Every time Fred got the ball, they pressed and they tried to turn him over, and it did happen a couple of times. But Fred was strong enough and mentally strong enough to push through every time they would try to bully him, pretty much, and still have a very solid game in return. It's not one of his best games. He definitely played better against Chelsea, and maybe Watford have an idea there that could potentially other teams could capitalize on. But for now, Fred, he had a good game, even despite the turnovers, despite the slips and all of this. He still had a pretty decent game as a holding midfielder, and definitely a partnership with Matic has clearly made him a better player. And maybe Scott McTominay, when he comes back, he can become even better, because they had a very good partnership as well. Speaking of CDMs, we'll start, and Matic. Let's go to Matic. I think Matic gets an 8. I think Matic was extraordinary today. He made some killer passes forward. Of course, he's a very good holding midfielder. He defended the play very well. The only thing you could say about Matic, that he very inconsistently passes the ball forward, but he ended up doing a pretty good job of that today. A couple of balls that, if Martial was able to get a hold of, could have been a goal scored, or a chance on goal created. And that's all you can ask for from a holding midfielder. They're not going to make the killer ball into a striker majority of the time. But Matic, he played the ball forward a lot, and that's all you can ask for from a player. He's been very solid for the past 2.5 months, 3 months, and that's all you can ask for a player that a lot of people would consider him to be deadwood or want him to leave. But he's come back and he's shown that he can still do a job for us. And maybe I'm considering now, if he was coming off the bench for us next season, I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate that idea, because we need midfield numbers. And I still think Matic can do a midfield job for us whenever there's an injury. And a lot of people could say he could do more than that. Maybe Matic doesn't want to do that and he wants to get first team football. But for now, if it was the case of Matic staying and being on the bench, I would absolutely not hate that idea whatsoever, especially in the form that he is in now. Going into Bruno Fernandes, what a player, man. That's his, third game of the season? And he absolutely killed it. It's his 4th game, and he, to be fair, we have to give some negatives. He turned the ball over a lot today. But damn it, man, when the team's parking the bus, you have to try stuff. And he tried a lot of things. And he played a lot of fantastic balls to our player and our players. A lot of opportunities happened from him. He was definitely, in my opinion, man of the match. I give him a 9. The only reason that I'm giving him a 9 is because he got the penalty. He scored his first goal. Congratulations to Bruno on scoring your first goal. And Old Trafford, the fans love you there, man. So it's no better place to score your first goal, especially from a penalty, because we know that penalty spot should be his for until he gets injured or anything, whatever happens. Bruno Fernandes definitely takes those penalties from now on, because the style of penalty that he takes is so hard to save, and we need any chance that we can get. But we'll see what happens with that when Rashford comes and everything else happens. But he got a penalty. He scored the goal. He could have got an assist as well. He was doing tricks out there, trick passes to Luke Shaw. killer long balls. Also played a couple plays in as well. He that's the perfect game. That's the type of game where if he can do that consistently, he's easily our best player, and it's not even close. And I hope that we can see more of this. If we can see this on a consistent basis, Man United are seriously going to get better with more investment, and we have more players that can go for goals. Because, geez, if he's the one that's playing everybody through, the likes of Daniel James could have easily had 2 goals today. Martial could have had more goals today. Greenwood could have had a couple of goals today as well. Like, if we've had a lot of opportunities because of him against a team that was parking the bus, and that's what a player that we needed to help kind of isolate ourselves from losing to the smaller teams, and he's done that today, and hopefully he can keep doing that because we've got a lot of teams that we probably would lose to without him coming up. Besides the Tottenham and the Man City, there are games where we would need him badly, and now that he's here, we can hopefully make a run for top 4 by beating those teams, and we'll see what happens. But it's a great feeling to beat a team like Watford and actually feel like you deserve to win it. It's not like a 1-0 and we played bad. We actually played really good today, and he's the main reason. So that's why he gets my man of the match. He might have not been technically the best player, because I do think Luke Shaw was a better player today, but just the fact that he was there and he actually helped us win a game that a lot of players, teams, fans, whatever, probably thinks we definitely could have drawn this game, ended up being the main reason why we won. So that's great stuff right there. Honestly, that's fantastic. Daniel James at left wing. I think Daniel James had his best game he's had in a very long time. I think with Rashford gone, you play Daniel James on the left. Just do it, because is a much more confident player as a left winger. I'm going to give Daniel James a 7. I know he had a lot of crosses that didn't go. He had some pretty poor crosses and balls and setups, but that's fine. A player that's trying, you can never ask for more, because he did have a lot of good shots on goal today. He did have a lot of good crosses that didn't get to anybody. He had a lot of good opportunities to get an assist, and that's all you can ask for from a winger. Not every single pass is going to end up turning into a goal, but you got to keep trying, and he had so much of the ball today compared to other days. The left wing is clearly his favorite position. It's his position where he can shoot when he cuts in. He can also have a killer cross with his other foot. He is very good with both feet, but with the left, he clearly feels more confident to shoot. And I feel like with Daniel James, we don't see that enough. We don't see Daniel James shoot a lot. He also got really good runs. He was playing through the midfield as well. He thrived in that left wing, and he also thrived playing with Bruno, because Bruno saw him out pretty much every single time he could. And Daniel James was better for it. So 7, that's great stuff. Mason Greenwood. Look, I think if Mason Greenwood didn't score that goal, I'd give him a 6. But Jesus, what a goal. What a goal. He's so good. He's so good. He is ready to be starting every week for us. I really believe that. If you're good enough, you're old enough. Whatever the saying is, if you're old enough, you're good enough. Doesn't matter. He was fantastic. That goal was fantastic. He's going to get a 7 from me, because if you score a goal, you usually get a 7. That's my saying, and he definitely gets a 7. And that goal was amazing. Left foot, you can't ask for much better than that. And goalkeeper had no chance. He didn't have much of the ball besides that. He had a couple shots on goal, but the goal that he scored as a young player on the rise, his stock is going to go through the roof by scoring a goal like that in the Premier League. That's going to be a highlight for Match of the Day. It's going to be a highlight for weeks to come. It's one of our better goals that we've scored, and 7 is a good score. A lot of people would give him an 8, but yeah, fantastic. And he needs to play more often. Keep playing the guy. Keep playing the guy. You will see more results if you play him. Last but not least, Martial. Now, I'm going to give Martial an 8, and I know that might sound ridiculous because he didn't have much to do besides the goal. But when you score, that was the best goal I've seen this season, to be honest. That was skillful. It was an opportunity. It was out of nothing, and he just chipped it like no one was there. And it's extremely so hard to do. But Martial does that a lot. He loves to chip the goalkeeper, but doing it from there, from that angle, was just that's a world class goal. Another world class goal. That's 3 and 3. So everyone that's saying Martial's not a number 9, you need to start eating your words, because he has scored 3 from 3. He's about to crack 20 goals soon, and I think that's Ollie said that he would back him to do it. The time's ticking for you fans to start changing your mind, because once Martial, if he gets to that 20 goal mark, everyone is saying he's not a number 9. Is you need to eat your words. You just have to admit you're wrong, honestly, because he played like a world class number 9 today. Even when you don't have your best game, yeah, you're not doing much. He created nothing besides that goal. He ended up scoring a goal that probably 70% of the strikers in the world today would not score. So that's all I have to say, really. He's such a great talent, and he can turn it on whenever he wants. Just like that, he can score a goal. So people need to give him respect. Yes, he's not a number 9 that has so many shots on goal, but that's not all his fault. But when he does have a shot on goal, most likely that's going in. 3 goals and 3 is nothing to complain about, and it's been against good competition as well. Good competition in Club Brugge, who's a team that's top of the league in Belgium, and a very solid defensive team, where we only had one shot really on goal that game, and Martial sealed it for a draw. Otherwise, we would have been in serious trouble in Old Trafford. A world-class header against Chelsea, a game where could have went either way. VAR assisted us in a way, but Martial scored a goal that at least would have got us a draw if we didn't win that game. That's a beautiful goal, world class goal, and today he scored a world class goal as well. So I think his form is starting to come back a bit, and maybe Rashford is not the reason why he's playing bad. Maybe it's a striker, man. Strikers have bad runs of form. It happens to every striker. It happens to Aguero. It's happened to Vardy. It will happen to Firmino. It happens to the Wolves striker Raul Jimenez. It will happen to players, but it's how you respond when you have bad runs of form. And he's responded with a bad run of form, with a good run of form. So that's all we can ask for from a player. So Martial gets an 8 for just a beautiful goal. One of the best goals I've seen this season from a Man United player. Going onto the bench, Ighalo came on. It's good to see Ighalo play against Watford. He had an opportunity. He didn't do much. I'm going to give him a 6, but he could have scored. It hit the post. Unlucky that would be the perfect way to seal a Man United goal, by scoring against your old team in Watford at Old Trafford for your first goal. That's like a dream come true if that was to happen. But it wasn't meant to be. He's still he's giving us minutes off the bench, and that's what we like. We need more options like that. And he's doing a job, and that's all you can ask for. He is a loanee. We don't expect much out of him, but if he can turn it on and he can help us win games, that's all we can ask for from him. If he can just give us more opportunities. Scott McTominay also returned to play a few minutes off the bench, and he honestly looked really good for the time that he played. I'm give him a 6 because he didn't have that much time, but he had a long ball to Wan-Bissaka that he played that looked just really smooth. A couple of defensive plays, passes. Ease him in a bit, and that's all we need. And Chong also played. I would give him a 7 if he scored, but just wide. He did have a couple of turnovers. He got a few fouls. He gets a 6 as well. That's the Man United team, including the bench. Ollie's team lineup, a 10 for seriously what you could have picked tonight. You picked the right formation, you picked the right plays in the formation, you picked the attacking lineup that we all wanted to see. You get a 10 for that lineup because there wasn't much available, but you picked the players that needed to play. And the bench options was also fantastic. So that's 10. Team performance, I'll give a 9. I would only say a 9 and not a 10 because I think the first half was kind of a bit slow. But other than that, that's just great stuff to see, really. To see your team perform, especially in that second half, the way that they did. But in the first half, that penalty was amazing. Bruno Fernandes scoring. I think everybody loves to see it. But the second half was where it all kind of shined for Man United. So 9 is the team performance. And overall performance was also a 9. So that's it on that retrospect of the game. It was a fantastic game to watch. I recommend if you guys have any opportunity to watch that game, go and watch it because that will put a smile on your face for a long period of time. Next up, I believe we have Club Brugge again at home, Old Trafford, the Theatre of Dreams. It's time to play the same way. Maybe not the same players, player by player, but let's pick a similar lineup. Let's play strong, and let's get our Club Brugge, and let's see how they handle that our attack, because it's the way that we play today. If we play like that against Club Brugge, I don't see them handling it very well. Just like Watford couldn't handle it very well. And before I leave, I just want to say, Man United, if you're looking for a midfielder that could really give you something different, I recommend Decore from Watford, because he was their best player by far today, and he is usually not playing as high up as that. But even then, he's got 3 goals and 1 assist in his last 3 games. He's usually a box-to-box midfielder. He can give you something different because he's a very good defender as well, and he does have a shot on him. That's a player to look into. But other than that, don't think Watford play particularly well. Club Brugge is the next challenge. Europa League is the next challenge. Let's get through. The more games, the better. And I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe. This is the Sports Code. Take care and peace.